imagine how excited Pythagoras was when he shared his findings with his pals, a fraternity of eggheads, known as the Pythagoreans. They used to meet in secret to discuss their mathematical discoveries. Only members were allowed to attend. They had a secret emblem, the pentagram.
Right guys, here we go. Here is what the search engine will state the etymology of pagan is. So let's type it in. Click enter and here we go. So the word
pagan
is origin, Latin pagus, meaning country or district. Latin paganus, villager, rustic. Christian Latin pagan means heathen. It was in the Christian era of early ages that they stated
pagan
was a heathen. It was a slang, it was a skit, it was a slur on your character if you was in the country, a different district to them, a villager or rustic. So you can just say if you lived off grid, you would be called
pagan.
A pagan. That's one of the first reasons they would call you a
pagan.
So other things are as followed, and here is the definition. So basically, in historical context, as it states, a person holding religious beliefs other than those of the main of recognized religions. So think about it now. You can be a Baptist, a Jehovah Witness, a Mormon, what's classed as a Protestant Christian, a Catholic Christian, but if you know what the Vatican and all the high up ends of the church, you put out the doctrine and you don't follow that, but you believe in God, you would be technically still classed as a
pagan,
because you are not holding the religious beliefs of them. So technically, because it's one of the recognized main religions, you would be fine. But when you look into it deeper, it's if you do not believe in what they are putting out. So you technically could be classed as a pagan, and you just saw the origins of it. Late Middle English from Latin paganus, villager, rustic, from pagus, country districts. Paganus also meant civilian, becoming in Christian Latin heathen, not basically, i.e. one not enrolled in the army of Christ. So it just shows you, and you can just carry on looking. It is a term first used in the 4th century by early Christians for the people in the Roman Empire who practiced polytheism, or ethnic religions other than Judaism. And obviously polytheism is you believe in one or more gods. It's basically why I was showing you all the different gods in the beginning. So basically paganism, you believe in many gods, not just one that the Christian religion talks about. But you can just see people that lived in the village or rustic scenario off grid in a different country or district would be still classed as pagan. So you can just see the wide ranging slur that was used. Just if you lived out in the country and you didn't follow the main religions of what they stated at the time, you'd be classed as a pagan. It's crazy, isn't it? And I want to show you something at the end to what I perceive it means, and that's just my example and just my theory. So the inspiration for this video is this book that you can see on the screen, the Hermetica, the Lost Wisdom of the Pharaohs. I'm going to put a little snippet from the audio book after this clip that I'm talking about, and I will put the link in the description, like I say, on it. So if you want to read the book, buy it. It is not dear. I highly recommend you do read it, or you can listen to the audio book. It goes through the book. I picked this book up after many years, and some of the things that my journey is showing me now blew me away in this. Now this book is attributed to Thoth, or, and I'll have this computer to say it, this person,
Hermes Trismegistus,
which they are the joining of Hermes and Trismegistus, what a pronunciation of it. So it's Hermes and that name I can't pronounce. Anyway, technically it is not Thoth or that person. It's basically a group of people, group of teachings compiled to go back into the book, the corpus Hermetica. Now if you read it, you will get inspired. Some of the things in it are happening now, and I'm going to include them all the way through this video. It's just a wow, guys. And I'm not doing no disclaimers. If people are having an open mind, you really shouldn't be on my channel, because I will contradict myself. I'll go back, I'll look into it again and again and again and again, because my journey is ever changing and ever moving, and I just get inspired on a daily basis from you, from your comments, from life. And I'm at a place now where I'm okay with that. I'm okay with believing and seeing different things and changing my mind. And this book really did this to me. I've read it back to book, front to back many years ago, and I'm reading it again now, and I'm not even halfway through, and I got inspired to make this video. And obviously some of the things it was saying in the book made me go, what is pagan actually? And so this has inspired me. So hopefully it will inspire you. I really would recommend it. I can't say highly how wow I am. I put some music on and I just decided to read it, and I got emotional. Some of the things that I've included or will include it are just inspiring. And obviously when we talk about pagans, obviously it's a culture of believing in many gods. A lot of pagans only believe in one god, but because they've been ostracized, they don't believe in the so-called main religions. And that's what I'm trying to get in this video. Why are pagans witch hunted? Why were they? Why are they ridiculed still today? And this video will reveal it through spell etymologies that I'm doing, and I'm doing a couple in this. It's just, guys, you're gonna love it. Really are gonna love it. It's very deep.
The Hermetica, the Lost Wisdom of the Pharaohs, written by Timothy Freak and Peter Gandy, read by Julian Brown. Introduction, a forgotten spiritual classic. The Hermetica is a collection of writings attributed to Thoth a mythical ancient Egyptian sage whose wisdom is said to have transformed him into a god. Thoth, who was venerated in Egypt from at least 3000 BCE, is credited with the invention of sacred hieroglyphic writing, and his figure, portrayed as a scribe with the head of an ibis, can be seen in many temples and tombs. He is the dispatcher of divine messages and recorder of all human deeds.
Hello and welcome. No, it's not my thoughts. But what I'm going to show you, I'm going to read a little out from the book and I want to lay the plan down. If you're wondering, where's these glasses? Well, when I'm reading, I have to put my bottle tops on. I'm getting old. There's more grey hairs. And I can barely read. I find it hard reading, as you know. I'm dyslexic, but I have to put even stronger glasses on now. That's what I found when I'm sat and rereading. So I'm reading from this book and the Hermetica, all the way through it. You can see I'm writing everywhere because I'm being inspired. Now, if you are under the influence, oh, this is devil worship, this is pagan, this is Hermetica, this is all this type of stuff, we're not allowed to read it. You got to think, why? Now, I'm going to lead you on a journey. And basically, what I want to do is I want to show you everything. Then at the end, I want to show the etymology for something. And you're going to go, wow. Now, it's a spell etymology. It's not to be taken as fact. It's my breakdown. But when I broke it down, I could not believe it. I'm like, I've just read all this stuff. Now it makes sense. So that's the journey that I'm going to lead you down on this. I want to be totally upfront and honest with you guys and say, listen, hey, if you read it this way and see it, because we all see things differently, but when you read it as a whole, you're like, and you're like, yeah, and you will come to the conclusion that I've come to from this. So there you go, guys. You've been warned. Now, if I've got my head down, I do apologise. But if I've got them glasses on, I can't even see the screen. I'm like way out there. But just so that you know, and I'm going to be reading a little bit from this, and then I'm going to do the usual stuff. But you can just see there's writing everywhere, because I don't take whatever, even in this book and other books, I don't take it as facts. I wasn't there, I can't say it, but it's information. And when your intuition, you're tingling, when you puzzle search and put the pieces together and you see things, you know, information and knowledge, it's power. It's said that. It's even said it in the Bible. And I'll read that verse out later on because it's on my phone and the phone's charging, so I can't. But I will do after. But you can just see where this is going. So glasses on. I mean business. So I won't look up because I'll be like spaced out. So I do apologise for my head down. But I'm not reading all of the book out. I'm just painting the picture, laying those seeds. Even that talks about in this. And there's a lot of things in this that will make sense to you. So it talks about different things and what it is. So basically, you'll go out when you read it. It says the Greeks, who were in awe of the knowledge and spirituality of the Egyptians, identified Thoth with their own god Hermes, the messenger of the gods, the guider of the souls in the realm of the dead. And at the top of the paper, because a lot of people have talked about this, I go, what if we're living in the realm of the dead? Because a lot of people talk about this, how, you know, you're eating dead meat and flesh and different things. Are we living in purgatory? Are we living in hell? All these people, and a lot of people, even me, have talked about these things in videos. And this talks about spirituality and how Thoth and Hermes were the guider of souls in the realm of the dead. And I just asked, written in it, just for my own benefit, what if we are living in the realm of the dead? So kind of when it goes, to distinguish the Egyptian Hermes from their own, they gave him the title Trismegistus, meaning thrice great, to honour his sublime wisdom. This is what we're talking about in this book: wisdom, knowledge, information. The books attributed to him have become collectively known as the Hermetica. Now, although largely unknown today, the writings attributed to Hermes Thoth have been immensely important to the history of Western thought. They profoundly influenced the Greeks, and through the rediscovery in the 15th century, Florence helped to inspire the Renaissance, which gave birth to the modern age. So you can see me pointing this, and I'll read a little bit more out, wherever these writings have gone. And yes, they're attributed to Thoth or Hermes Trismegistus. They're basically, I think I might even say, it says it in the book, and I'm thinking they'll read it out. But what it is, you know, when you get inspired, I say, listen, I got inspired off a great comment from this, and I'll put it in the video like I always do. Or you just had an epiphany or something happened. That's why I asked that thing the other day, when do you get inspired throughout the day? And I'll show you the results of that. But what they are saying in this book is Thoth or Hermes Trismegistus, whatever, influenced these people by saying, I have an epiphany, and it was due to the Thoth or due to Hermes and so on and so on. You attribute it to a god, the muses. So that's what they're saying. Basically, these are the writings of Thoth. They're not the writings of individual writers and scholars throughout the ages. And wherever, and this is the thing I want to get at, wherever these writings have been accepted and used, these teachings, towns, cities, countries have flourished. And the so-called Dark Ages and Middle Ages and so on, these places, these writings have been basically inspiration for great scientists. Now, you might say, well, the scientists are them, those, they. And you'd be rightly so. But it's still information. And you'll see people saying, oh, these people are corrupt, these are evil. And then the next sense of breath, use the work or use the information that these people have provided. Information is knowledge. Knowledge is power. So wherever this is gone, it has created what's known as the Renaissance and inspired. And who's it inspired? Who they say in this book? It says the list of people who have acknowledged a debt to the Hermetica reads like a who's who of the greatest philosophers, scientists, artists that the West has produced. Leonardo da Vinci, Dürer, Botticelli, Roger Bacon, Paracelsus, Thomas More, William Blake, Kepler, Copernicus, and there's something on that for people. Oh, he came up with, that model. Isaac Newton, Sir Walter Raleigh, Milton, Ben Jonson, Daniel Defoe, Shelley and his wife Mary, Victor Hugo, Carl Jung, Shakespeare, John Dee, John Donne, and the rest of the poets and philosophers. So it's inspired them. And there's writings in this that talk about even science should go along and be connected with God. And that is inspiring. That's wow. And it's like, why have they gone away from this? Because there's an agenda. I've already showed you these different things, and what I'm trying to get at every one of those locations and cities these people have been in, not just them, but this writings, they've been persecuted, they've been driven out, they've been burned. The scrolls have been burned. The information wanted to be kept secret from the masses. Now you got to think, why is this information? And this is what happens. Pagans, they get labelled. And this is what we do in today's society. We get labelled. So you can identify, and then in your brain, the programming says, do I identify as this? And this is why they're bringing all this bollocks. Who you identify. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, people can be whatever they want. I don't care. As long as you treat me with respect, treat everyone with respect, love, decency, the general things that we take for granted these days. I don't care what you want to call yourself. At the end of the day, you come out male or female, that's it. But you can, you are who you are. But this agenda has been taken over. It's been bastardized. and it's been re-engineered. Now, what I'm getting at is when you label something, that you straight away, without even thinking or looking into something, you'll hear trigger words and you automatically go, well, I know this, this and this, so I don't believe what they're saying. Most of the people out there will be triggered and they see a word, a spell, and it triggers an aggressive reaction because we're human. These are triggers. So you can see throughout the ages, witches burned at the stake, witches thrown in rivers to see if they floated. You saw a lot of stuff in Salem, witch hunt. We've had over in the UK with the witches also. And remember, left-handed people were basically accused of being demons and witches and so on. Herbalists who used the herbs of the land that God created were classed as witches, or pagans, and so on and so on and so on. So you can see my point. We have to attribute a certain trigger word that makes people feel okay. Well, they are going against my faith. Remember, people are still fighting today on YouTube and around the world for the truth. I've showed you what the truth is. Type truth into any search engine and look at the etymology. It does not say it's truth. It's faith. It's to believe. So faith, that's why you get so triggered. You're fighting for the truth. It's been weaponized. It's been weaponized for especially for the modern era. So when you go into wars because the church has said so, it's okay, you're fighting in the name of the Lord and God. Let's ignore everything else. This is what happened with Pagan. So wherever these people have gone, or the teachings have gone, the areas have flourished. Health system, how to operate, cataracts and different things. I saw many things that they did in, hundreds and hundreds of years ago, and it was classed as witchcraft, and these people did it because they had these teachings. So that knowledge, that information was cursed, basically. Whoever used it would have been labelled a pagan, a witch, a warlock, a wizard, so on and so on. Evil. So that's what it talks about, and that's why it's the cornerstone of Western culture. It's inspiring, and this is what all from these teachings. It says the early origins of the Hermetica are shrouded in mystery, but the evidence suggests it is a direct descendant of the ancient philosopher of the Egyptians. However, the handful of surviving works attributed to Hermes are not written in ancient Egyptian hieroglyphs, but in Greek, Latin, and Coptic. They were collated in the city of Alexandria during the 2nd and 3rd century CE. Here the Hermetica philosophy helped inspire some of the greatest intellectual achievements of the ancient world. Alexandria, as you know from the library, was a great centre of learning, surpassing even Athens. Its founder, Alexander the Great, had conquered and united Greece, Persia, Egypt and India into one vast empire. Cultures that had grown up more or less independent were brought together, and there was no bigger melting pot than Alexandria. Into this new universal city poured men, women and every race of nation, Greeks, Jews, Egyptians, Babylonians, Phoenicians and even Buddhists from India, as associated together in the all in the relative places. The Alexandrians were renowned for their thirst for knowledge, and under the Enlightenment Greek ruler Ptolemy, a library and museum were founded, where human beings first systematically collected the wisdom of the world. At its height, the Library of Alexandria housed some 500,000 scrolls. These included works of Euclid, Archimedes, the astronomer Ptolemy, who dominated the spheres of geometry, mathematics and geography, respectively until well into the Middle Ages. It contained the research of Aristarchus of Samos, who had shown that the Earth is one of the planets orbiting the Sun. So you can see different things and how people then go, oh, this is when the programming, how the Earth is not saying it's this, and we're surrounding the Sun, and the Sun's revolve around us, and this, and it's flat, and it's this, and it's hedgehog shaped, and it's donut shaped. We're living in a cave, as I've said, and different things like this. So this is what inspired me. But even in the book, there is a brilliant thing that I've used throughout the years, and I've written it down somewhere, and I've understood, and I've cornered it. So you can see it's there. I've written it, and this is what I'm going to read out now, just to show people. It's even assisted in the Protestant Reformation. Crazy. He talks about Thomas Linacre founded the Royal College of Physicians in London. Mathematics, the mathematician Nicholas of Cusa, the physician Pericles, and the architect Brunelleschi, and astronomer Torcanelli. So who inspired Christopher Columbus. So all this come from this, and it goes on about Copernicus. But it does then say, I should have read that out. So it says, Toscanelli, whose famous map inspired Columbus, all owed their inspiration to the Florentine reawakening of the spirit of the ancient paganism. And it says, and I've underlined it, Copernicus' momentous claim that the sun, not the earth, is at the centre of the solar system was a choice, not a discovery. So, and people always forget about this, and it's in this book, and I've showed it for years. You can see. So Copernicus' model was a choice. It's not fact. It's a choice. So there's lots of information in this book that should make you go, wow. And again, it's just the opinion of whoever's put the book together, and that obviously is Timothy Freak and Peter Gandy. They've put this information together, and it's like I've said to anything. People talk about television, but where'd you keep books? Leave that sinking. I've said it many times. Yes, a library. So it's not always the sake of that word truth. A book doesn't mean it's truth. Books can lie. Propaganda. It can promote something. So this is where you have your discernment and your gut and your intuition. But I still try and read as much as I can, even though I find it hard, because I like to see a different opinion. And sometimes an opinion from olden times. And again, it's all promoted about Copernicus, and it was a choice. It's not a fact, it's a choice. It's written, and they got these from ancient writings. So what do you say to all that good stuff? And it's brilliant. And that's what I was talking about. So wherever this book's gone, people have flourished. It's just brilliant. And I'll be talking about the imagination, because that's also inspires in this book. And what's interesting me is the Hermetica and the information is supposed to be, and is labelled the mind of God. The mind. We've talked about it at the beginning, and that little fancy thing was from this book, and it talks about people don't know the universe, and people will get triggered, especially in a certain community. Oh, there's nothing out there. We don't know what is anywhere. See that there? That's space. It's a space. it's a void of something. It's space. And we don't know what is out there. We don't know what is anywhere. Because we can only go off information that we're provided with. And yes, you can use your senses, but I am under no illusion. Your senses can lie to you. You can be deceived. How many times have you seen so many things of me showing you perspective? Perspective is influenced what you see, but also what you've been programmed. So it's a minefield. There's no right, there's no wrong. It's like a trap. And what I get inspired is from you guys on a daily basis, and from getting these little snippets when it's talk about the paganism, the worship of many gods in these different countries, and they've all been persecuted, and these writings have either been burned or they've been hidden and they've been taken out, and they move from place to place, and this has gone on forever. Now you've got to think, that's why I put the title like a witch hunt, obviously witch hunt, but the witch hunt meaning to chase something down and venerate it. Pagan witch hunt. Why has pagans been witch hunt when, as I said from the beginning, their own etymology is you basically living in the country. How many of you now don't live in a town and live what's called out of the sticks, and you tend to your garden, you grow your own veg? That's classed as a pagan. And this is what I get to this book. And there's some things I really do, disagree with in the book, but it's an opinion of the writer and the people at the time. I know, and I've talked about last video, talking about God's name, a God's name, and people saying, well, God doesn't have a name. I know, I've said it many, many times over the years, but these people have not watched every video of what I'm saying. We have to label things for our imagination and to manifest it in this reality where we are. You can see it all in my videos when I talk about this. So this is what I'm doing. I just want to give you a quick flavour, just basically paraphrase what it says in this book in the early stages about how these writings and teachings have inspired people to, and their works, and they have had Renaissance type of events in all of these cities. Then come along the people who don't want you to know, who want you to control. I've even written something on that. Let me go and find this. And it's just everywhere. It's not just. I mean, there's loads of things in this book. It's inspiring. To help us to do this, Hermes narrates a dramatic story of how God creates and contains the cosmos. It is through appreciating the awesome beauty of the cosmos and understanding the fundamental laws by which it functions that we can come to know the mind of God. It was the vision which fired the imaginations of the great minds of history. It inspired the birth of science by encouraging them to explore the mind of God, the source. You know, it tells you, and I've written it everywhere. It's just really good. Translation inevitably means that we have lost the original power and clarity. So when we translate anything from, you know, when we see people coming from the Bible, or it was written in Aramaic, or it was written in Hebrew, it was written in this, it's written in that, it changed to Greek, it changed to Vulgar Latin, and the word's lost its power. For years I've showed you the vocal cord, the voice of God. So when we are using this, we're using spells. The power of this is gone. They want you. They don't want you to speak. Why? Because it's the power of the God. And I've been talking about this years, and a lot of my content, people just think I do Janus. It's crazy. There's so many brilliant videos, and I hold my hand up now. I'm very proud of what I've done and where I've come from. And people have followed me from the beginning. I know the journey and how much I've changed, but not changed, because I want to say who I am, and this is who I am. I get inspired. I don't hold grudges. I don't want to restrict myself. People are always telling you, take the red pill, take the blue pill, follow the path, the Ptah, the Peter, the Pater, the Father. Hermes is also an Atum. Atum is known as the Father, the Peter. These Peters get around these rocks. And just because I'm not a big channel, information that I provide, yes, a lot of it is theory and what people have inspired me, but it's as good as information out there as any, and you guys do as well, or even better, and don't get heard. So let me find that thing. And there's loads of stuff, it's everywhere. So it even says, my teachings will seem more obscure in times to come. Modern times, when they are translated from our Egyptian mother tongue into that of the Greeks. Translation will distort much of their meaning. Expressed in our native language, the teachings are clear and simple, for the very sound of an Egyptian word resonates with the thing signified by it. All possible measures should be taken to prevent these holy secrets being corrupted by translation into Greek, which is so on and so on. This is the bits I don't agree with, when you start slagging off a different language or culture. This is when the ego of the writer gets involved. I'm just going to find that thing I've put in, so you can see again. I've written control, but I'll read it out. These are classed as what is a prophecy of Hermes, and these are just a name Hermes. You could say Janos, you can say God, because this is just what inspired the people. Pure philosophy is a spiritual striving through constant contemplation to attain the true knowledge. of hmmm, the one God. But speaking now in prophecy, I say that in times to come, no one will pursue philosophy with single-mindedness and purity of heart. Those with a grudging and ungenerous temperament will try and prevent men discovering the priceless gift of immortality. And I've written at the side and underlined it, control. People don't want you to learn. Basically, if I put this information out and it triggers someone, what are they going to do? They're going to troll me. They want to control me. They want to control you. Another robe. They don't want me passing on this, telling you guys to read this. They really, really don't. Now, I'm not saying, oh, because it's facts. And that's one thing that sometimes the people who are paranoid in this community, and, you know, they troll you and different things. Just because it's in a book doesn't mean it's fact. It's not. It's just information. But, like, again, information leads you down to the puzzles. You put that puzzle together because you've had information telling you, well, if you just turn that, then it reveals something. So you then use this knowledge. Let me turn that. Oh, wow, it's opened a door. Wow, I didn't see that before. So this is what happens. And this is in ancient times. These are from the ancient writings telling you that people, even in them days that they're still doing today, don't want you to know it. So we haven't changed that sense. It's been going on for thousands of years. You start to learn some new shit, as I call gold, information, knowledge. There will be people who get triggered, are programmed to attack and to stop this information getting out. It's crazy, isn't it? It's all in there. So this is some of the things why I get inspired. And universe to me is one song. Uni meaning one, and verse in a song. It's you know, brilliant. And it talks about spirituality. There's loads in it. Light is the mind of God. I seen something the other day. It's even in this book. And it's about the word alchemy, basically meaning from Egypt. So people talk about alchemy a lot and don't even know what the word means. I didn't. And the initiation of Hermes talks about this, and I've highlighted one bit, but I'll read the stuff out before it. It says, my senses were suspended in mystic sleep, not a weary, full-fed drowsiness, but an alert and a conscious emptiness. Released from my body, I flew with my thoughts, and while I soared, it seemed to me, a vast and boundless being called my name. Hermes, what are you looking for? Who are you? I asked. I am the way guide, the supreme mind, the thoughts of hmmm, the one God. I am with you, always and everywhere. I know your desires. Make your question conscious, and they will be answered. Show me the nature of reality. Bless me with this knowledge, with the knowledge of hmmm, I begged. So these are telling you that to use your imagination, mind my glasses, and they are guides. And this is what I always say about us. We're guides. You are guides. You're just passing on information, but sometimes the information can be a trap, or it's just how you perceive this realm. But this is what's I keep saying the word inspiration and inspired, but when you read things like this and you think, oh wow, they use it today, or they talk about this today, and this is today, you're like, yeah, I can see it. So you can start seeing the flavour that I'm trying to show you guys, that where this information has gone, people have flourished, people smile, people buzz, the energy, and I want you guys to share it with me. You know, and this is just my journey, my perspectives on how I see it, and my musings that are written in this book, and I want to share it, you know, with you guys, because you guys mean a lot to me. You've helped me out through life. You know, it's just brilliant. and I'm just seeing different things when I've written it down. I'm like, do we read it out now or do we do it later? And this is also, I'll read this out and then I'll tell you what. No, what the hell was that? So here we go. It says, but I foresee that in times to come, clever intellectuals will mislead the minds of men. And this is what I see of people in science now in the community. They're there to mislead people down the rabbit hole, because you obviously, like a hole, you can fall into it. And this is what I was mentioning to before. It goes, for Hermes, spiritual philosophy is not opposed to science, as it often is for us today. The study of spiritual philosophy studies science as a form of devotion to God. So back in the days, were they studying science with a devotion to God, or using that as inspiration? You know, and then when you start taking religion to form, people then do, oh, it's attacking my faith. So this is something I'm looking to. Yes, I've gone on for a little bit too long, half an hour, but I just wanted to paint the picture of what's in the video for you guys to just say, hey, wherever this information has led and gone to, people have fought to control it. And that should get you thinking. And again, not everything, because sometimes it's a very smart tactic, is say, what if I pretend to want to control this? People think this is fact, and we see it every day. I see so many comments, I'm like, just people don't say it. It's like, oh, they won't try and ban that because it's the truth. They're banning that because it's the truth. It must be right. Why go to this effort? Because sometimes clever intellects will try to deceive you to thinking something has validity. And it's, you know, I'm not perfect. I've fell for a lot of things. But when you start getting older, you start getting more and more wise to these things. And again, treat everything as just information and use it as a way guide. Right, guys? On with the video. I've gone on for too long. So guys, that little snippet turned into something about 30 minutes. Sorry about that, but I get excited when I'm talking to you guys. So as I was trying to show, hopefully, where there's been enlightenment or a renaissance, there has been this knowledge that's been passed on by the pagans and what you class as Hellenistic and things like this. Different religions like that and cultures have passed on this knowledge, but it's all attributed to this information that gets passed around. But you have to also think about occasions through ancient times of things like Prometheus bringing the light, the fire. You got Oans or Dagon, whatever they go by. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a quick clip from a very old video that I did a couple of years ago about something. It's called Something's in the Water. Just showing you this, what I'm basically talking. But as we're talking about knowledge, information, and we all know information or knowledge is power, I want to start by just showing you a quick verse that basically shows you this. But firstly, I'll put in that quick clip and see what you guys think. Most civilizations talk about gods or wise men coming from the water. In ancient Mesopotamia, these were called Apakalu. That's my pronunciation. It was believed that the gods created humankind to cultivate the soil and make sure that the gods, by means of sacrifice, would receive their meals. It's said the first peoples didn't grasp their task, so the god sent the Pakalu. They were also known as the seven sages, as teachers. These creatures came to the human world from the sea. That's what is said. The first one of these was Unanna or Ohans, and we know him as I'll not say Janos, supposedly. So these are some of the images that we'll see of an entity coming out the water to teach humans. So this is my grasp on this video. Coming out of the water in Stargate, if you're a fan of that, one of the early episodes, we had a character called Oans coming out of the water. He was interrogating actually one of the characters. Some people say Oans is actually Dagon, the one in the same. Remember the colours slightly on this one for a bit later, you'll understand why. Now, Oans showed the people how to read and write and how to do mathematics, but also how to build cities, found temples, make laws, draw borders, divide land, plant seeds and harvest fruit. Oans also explained to the first humans how the gods had created the world. So you can see the intriguing bit about this video. What I want to do is to emphasize on the water. They came out of the water. What is in the water? So let's get to that verse that I was just talking about. So it's in Proverbs, as you can see on the screen. I'll read it out for you now. Wisdom brings strength, and knowledge gives power. Battles are won by listening to advice and making a lot of plans. Wisdom is too much for fools. Their advice is no good. No one but troublemakers think up trouble. Everyone hates senseless fools who think up ways to sin. I was showing you that before, wasn't I, from the book about the control being the trolls. Don't give up and be helpless in times of trouble. Don't fail to rescue those who are doomed to die. Don't say I didn't know. God can read your mind. He watches each of us and knows our thoughts, and God will pay us back for what we do. Honey is good for you, my children, and it tastes sweet. Wisdom is like honey for your life. If you find it, your future is bright. Some people will say Prometheus is Satan and Lucifer because they're all associated with one another, but all those names attribute to a certain god that I researched for a long time, Janos, and got mocked for, but you can see other people are talking about it now. So this is why I was making this video. So I'm painting the picture now to show you that the wisdom, the knowledge, gives people power. Those Lites do not like me, you having power, and we have power when we know what is around us, and that is why they try to basically censor us, because we have power. People listen to us and I don't know why. You know, and that's why I always try and put an objective, or say, listen, this is just my opinion, don't take it as fact, because I don't want to be promoting things that are false. It's just an idea, it's just amusing. So that's what I always say in my videos, hence why I'm talking about paganism being associated with light, information, knowledge is power, and why the elite through different things persecuted them, chased them all around basically the world, and didn't want them to practice this information, this knowledge, and burn the books, burn the scrolls. And this is why it inspired me to do this video, from reading bits of that book. So what we will also say is, and what they say, and what some of the things in the Bible say, and again, people will say the Bible's written by God, but he didn't get down and write a pen, did he? And this is not me offending anyone who believes in the Bible. I've read some of the Bible, and some of the verses and words in it are inspiring. So that's why I always say to you, information is power, and all books can promote certain agendas, and this is why we just have to be open. You know, there's nothing, you know, don't persecute anything. So this says, you shall not go after other gods, the gods of the peoples who are around you. So this is painting a picture that about, remember the gods and idols, that there's only one God, hence why they persecuted pagans, because they believe in more than one God. So this is painting the picture from the Bible, saying there's only one God. Now for me, I've done videos on God's name. I've even said, even all the time years ago, that God doesn't need a name. You know what I mean? And people have not watched those, like I was saying. So this is someone writing this, you know, trying to get this in around God having, just being one God and having a name. To me, when I pray to God. I don't use a name. You know what I mean? It's within us, like I was showing you in the last video. From my perspective, you shall have no other gods before me. So again, like the last one, painting a picture, talking about other gods, and do not turn to idols or make metal gods for yourselves. I am the Lord your God. And obviously then it starts to talk about pagans and witchcraft and different things throughout the Bible. Thou shalt not be found among you anyone that maketh his son or his daughter to pass through the fire, or that useth divination, or an observer of times, or an enchanter, or a witch, or a charmer, or a consulter with family spirits, or familiar spirits, or a wizard, or a necromancer. For all that do these things an abomination unto the Lord. And because of these abominations the Lord thy God doth drive them out before thee. Thou shalt be perfect with the Lord thy God. So all the things that you will say today, like you want to know the weather. Oh, I'll put the forecast on. That's divination. That would be abomination. So to me, God gave us all unique gifts, and we hone them. Some people don't find these gifts. Now, am I saying every pagan is good? No, but in life, there's bad and good in everyone, and in specific areas. So, it's not me saying, holding up my flag saying pagan and everyone is good and don't do evil things. But how many times do people do evil things in the name of good? And it's prolific, as you know. It just needs common sense and basically discernment. So it got me thinking, hey, he doesn't want idols, he doesn't want praying you to other gods, but why do we pray to all the saints? And there's thousands of them. Who makes these gods? Like a council decide how many miracles they've done and decide, oh yeah, we're going to canonize them, we're going to give them a saint. So all these saints that people pray to, is it not idol worship? Technically, is it? I'm just asking that question, and then they will say about saints, well, it's okay to pray to them because they're closer to God, being more closely united to Christ, those who dwell in heaven do not cease to intercede with the Father for us, because they're already in heaven, they're closer to him, but you only have to pray. You got contact straight away. You don't need this. So we've been brainwashed and told one way, and this is how it is. Now, this is not me again having a go of religion, and I think no, because religion is faith. That word that is truth, basically. So people have faith, and if someone counteracts that, they get agitated, they get triggered. Now, if you have faith and it's strong, you wouldn't mind, you'd be open-minded to people's opinions. You would, wouldn't you? And in Revelation here it says, and when he had taken the book, the 4 beasts and the 24 elders fell down before the Lamb, having every one of them harps and golden vials full of odours, which are the prayers of saints. So it's everywhere about saints, praying to saints. Well, are they not idols technically? So this is just like the contradictions, and there's many of them. There's many of us in the Bible talking about going to places, getting kids and grabbing them by the feet and smacking them against walls and bricks to kill them. So, and basically in the Bible does say in the commandments, thou shalt not kill. So you can just see where the evil that runs through every one of us at the door can make people do wicked things in the name of good. And this is what this video is about. It's not me promoting paganism. I don't care what people do for themselves. If you show respect and love to everyone, what's wrong with that? It's already shown you that the wicked do not like you getting information passed. And anyone with any discernment or common sense can see throughout history, when people get enlightened, there is then an agenda against their culture, the religion, the ethnicity. We saw it all the time, and it's about time we all opened our eyes and said, hey, this is not good enough. Like that thing, no, you shouldn't leave people to themselves. And that's why I do my videos. I just show a different opinion, promote being good to people. Having a different opinion is okay, and it's okay to contradict yourself, because you're learning all the time, knowledge. And that's why I love doing what I do. So in this video I'm just showing you that anywhere people's gone, they've been persecuted because of their knowledge. And yes, like I was saying, and people will pick up it and do different things. Good people, or what society classes good people, can do evil things. You don't wear something sinister. You know, everyone wears masks. So in this section I want to talk about imagination. I believe it ties everything that I've talked about so far together, and is vastly underrated in this reality. It's so important. So here goes, guys. And the spell etymology, there's loads in it, quotes, you name it, there's a lot going. So what is now proved was once only imagination. So what is now proved was once only imagined. That is brilliant. Now I share an opinion that imagination is key to everything, and it goes hand in hand with knowledge. So let's carry on with this and show you how important the imagination is. Well, it is to me. So to the Hermeticists, and obviously this is what we're talking about in regard to this book and different things. Creation of forms in the imagination is not a flight of fantasy or simple daydream. It's a way of seeing the invisible. So think about it this way. When our imagination is powerful, you see this reality. Hence why it ties with knowledge. Remember, I've always talked about when we learn more, we see more. So when you learn more, the invisible becomes visible. Hence why we always talk about hidden in plain sight. Our imagination is a tool that we need to use. Could it be more tied to your soul? I don't know. The light. Remember, I always talk about how light is shined on darkness. It reveals more. So it's intriguing, isn't it? So let's carry on. So where were we up to? So imagination is not a flight of fantasy or simple daydream. It's a way of seeing the invisible, of reaching the great beyond, and the real training for immortality. In truth, becoming immortal is just a matter of will. You can even become a god if you want, for it is possible. So we've been talking about things on these terms already in this video. Imagination is important, more important than knowledge. Knowledge is limited. Imagination encircles the world. The imagination is not a state. It is the human existence itself. The man who never alters his opinion is like standing water and breeds reptiles of the mind. In the universe, there are things that are known and things that are unknown, and in between there are doors. Who's been talking about doors for many years, and how important are they? Even in the Bible it says, I am a door, you are a door, you are a gate, lift up your head, O gates, or ancient gates. It's telling you the connection between everything. There is always a door. In this reality, they want to block those gates, those doors, from you reaching your full potential. To me, this world is all one continued vision of fancy or imagination, and I feel flattered when I am told so. What is it that sets Homer, Virgil, Milton in such high a rank of art? Why is the Bible more entertaining and instructive than any other book? Is it not because they are addressed to the imagination, which is spiritual sensation, and but immediately to the understanding or reason? William Blake. I like that quote. I think it hits home if you read it. Imagination is the beginning of creation. You imagine what you desire. You will what you imagine, and at least you create that you will. Hence why they want to control you. They want to control your mind, because the power of the imagination can steer and basically steer you in a direction that can create. And there's something on that we've all been known but didn't look at it this way, and I'm going to read that out soon. Imagination is new reality in the process of being created. It represents the part of the existing order that can still grow. Reality is created by the mind. We can change our reality by changing our mind. They don't want you changing the mind, they want to control it. Imagination is governed by no rules or laws, either physical or civil. Imagination comes from a place of unlimited energy and capacity. Creativity is the physical embodiment of the imagination. So hopefully I'm showing you why the imagination is so revered and so important. It brings back me, remember the film, and I'm showing the age now, The Golden Child, and in it he's surrounded at all times in all four directions by evil, because the evil wants to disrupt and control this imagination, because it's how this reality to me is formed. And it's even in the Bible talking about this. And God saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every imagination of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. And it repented the Lord that he had made man on the earth, and it grieved him at his heart. So it's telling the people about this evil, what it can do and why they want to control it. Because think about social media, the news, all these things controls the mind. It steers you in a direction, and it stops you from using your imagination for good. And here's what I'm talking about. So we've all seen this quote, and it is right of sorts, but if you'd have put another meaning to it, you would understand why. And to me, this other meaning makes more sense in a way. So the hidden reality of government, control, the true meaning of government. Govern means control, and ment or mental means mind. Therefore, government literally translates to mind control. And it does, but it doesn't, if that makes sense, because I'm going to steer you in a direction now, and this is what it means. What is the original meaning of government? The word government derives from the Greek verb kubinao or kubineo, meaning to steer, with a gubernaculum, a rudder, the metaphysical sense being attested in the literature of classical antiquity, including Plato's Ship of State. Now this makes more sense to me, because what are we always taught? These bodies are vessels. There's maritime law, all this thing are connected to water. I've done a lot of videos on water, and it makes more sense that, and I've talked even about our consciousness, our thoughts, our memories sometimes stored in the water around us. And so control, government, means to steer. So they are steering you in a direction that you don't want to go. Bit like Hermes Odyssey, but he wanted to go home and it took him years. We are being steered in a direction they want to control. They don't want you to steer or go where your heart, your intuition wants to go, because they know the power of the mind. They know the power of imagination. Why you're bombarded on all sides at all times by evil, by negativity. When you picture this, how many times have you been in a really good mood, in that place where anything is possible, and in seconds someone will try to control or troll you into negativity? It happens all the time, and it will happen with me with this video. But you just have to know that you're steering your vessel in a direction that your heart wants to go. And this means a lot to me when you look at it this way, to steer, the steer in the mind. So they are controlling it, they are the captain of the vessels. But to me this makes more sense in regard to all the water analogy that we use, maritime law and things like that. So hopefully you're enjoying this video. I mean, I'm enjoying making it, even though it's took me a while. It means a lot to me, this one. So I wanted to do a spell etymology on the word imagination, because we've been talking about it a bit. So I wanted to see what spells are hidden, and I was amazed. So what you've just saw. So here's my findings. Dun, dun, dun. So remember guys, this is just my breakdown on the word imagination. It's not to be taken as fact or anything, but I've split it into 4: I, magi, nat and ion. And it's got me excited, I won't lie. So to start off with, I is you, or even your eye. So how we see this reality, you use your eyes, and obviously the imagination and this knowledge we're talking about interact together to create the visual. So it's funny that it begins with I, for your eye. Magi means a whole world of words, but here's some of them. Magi means wise man, priest, magician, powerful, sorcerer. So it means so many different things. And how do we talk? Oh yeah, spells. So this world is magic. So imagination needs magic, because I've talked to you already about when we imagine, we can create our reality around us. A bit like manifestation. Well, it's using your imagination. So that is brilliant that it contains the word magic or wise man. Are you not excited? So nat again means so many other things too. So I've just put a few in so that you can see. Nat means birth or to be born. In some it means spirit. In some languages it means spirit. Others it can mean a child. You're a little gnat. That's another word. And in some languages it means night. So that's intriguing too. So that's the word nat. So we've done I, magi and nat. Next on the list is ion. So again, it can mean so many different things. Ion is an atom, obviously, and also atom that we've talked about in this the Hermetica talks about atom, and I told you it's just another name. It means to go, it means age, it means century. So in a few different languages it can mean a wide ranging thing, but it still betrays, and it means still a lot if you just look at it. But, and here's my creative license. Yes, I'm using some. If you change ion to aeon, and this is just briefly, aeon is a Hellenistic deity associated with time, the orb or circle encompassing the universe. So all things we've talked about, and the zodiac. Also the time which ion represents is perpetual, unbounded, ritual and cyclical. But here's the other thing, and I've talked about this many times in videos, and it's not just me saying this, I'm just going to show you. Aeon is another name for a certain Janos. Yes, that Janos that is insignificant. All other channels don't want you to look into this topic, because Janis, or whatever you want to pronounce it, is a janitor. So he's like the Swiss Army knife of gods. He has all the gods on his belt, and they use Janos because he's the god of the doors. So according to Marcus Messala, a consul of 53 BC, Janos was the same as Aeon. Macrobius goes further and says that Janos created and ruled the universe, and that his 4 heads symbolise his power over the 4 winds of the cosmos. Yes, people automatically think, Janos only has 2 heads. Well, actually, the 2 that you see is actually 3. The present, what we're living in now, is invisible. But the 2 heads is his more modern mask. He really started off with 4. I go on that it was 5, but they say it's 4, and there is a 4-headed Janos on the oldest bridge in Rome. I've shown you that many times in video. So it's intriguing, isn't it, the connection that we're talking about. And look at the word imagination and what it means. You using your eye and the magic, you are using the magic. You're also the wise man, the priest, the magician. You're powerful. This is trying to stop you from using your imagination. Is this gift given to us at born? Is it our spirit, like it says in the etymology? And is ion basically atom, but also Janos, and that encompasses the whole of this realm? It's funny when it was talking about the golden child, and everything seems to be mirrored. So if there's good and bad, they like to mirror each other. For instance, the 4 corners of the world, this golden child had to be evil, had to be around the 4 corners, surrounded in 4 corners. And it just tells you there about Aeon and Janos. He is the 4 heads, symbolise the power of the 4 winds of the cosmos. So the magic, he's the gatekeeper. gets intriguing, doesn't it, when you start looking at it like this. And again, this is just my interpretation of how I see it when I break the word down. You guys could probably find something else, but it's just fitting and it's just going along with what you saw so far. And please tell me, does it not make sense? So guys, you've just saw what imagination means. You saw what I've put in the video so far, and this is going to be the end. I wanted to finish with something that made it all make sense, and this is not going to be the end, it's going to be just the beginning of this. But I want to finish with the spell etymology of the word pagan. And at the beginning I asked, why were the pagans attacked? Why were they basically driven out of everywhere around this realm? Obviously, yes, there's bad pagans, like there is bad people. It's not down to a specific type, but on a whole, all the knowledge, the information, the magic spells, remember when we were talking about how each area they went into, this pagan, this Hellenistic knowledge, this Hermetica, made it basically like a renaissance. And they didn't want that, because obviously if we were more powerful as people, you know, we wouldn't need them to steer the so-called rudder. So this is the spell etymology of pagan, and it all makes sense, and it answers why they vindicated, murdered, pillaged, you name it, drove out, slandered the pagan. So when we think of pagan today, we think of something evil. So look at the word pagan, and let's just split it down into two, guys. It's as simple as that: pa or pay and gan. So pa means father, papa. So obviously we talked about the Peters, the interpretation. Again, there's the Peter again. Proto-Indo-European root meaning to protect. So it means also to protect, to feed. In other languages it means to guard. In some it means ill-tempered utterance, whimpering, whining, moaning. So I carried on, and now we're going to gan. So what's gan mean? And I have put it small, but I'm reading it out, so you'd be okay. So gan, in some cultures, this one is Judaism and Jewish, gan means garden, and it will be the starting place for which Jewish knowledge can grow. This is a class for the basics, where no question is too simple and every starting place is enough. So you've just saw them say, pa means to guard, and gan means garden, protecting the garden. Could this be the Garden of Eden, where the tree of knowledge is, you know, one of the two trees, which again, if you put the two trees, is an L11. It's intriguing, isn't it, when we just look at it like that, when we're talking about pagan means to guard, means to protect. So now, if, how I was saying at the beginning, where this information has gone, people have got enlightened, and their imaginations, the magic that they're able to use, has created some of the beautiful things in this world. And the evil, the ites, do not want this. So they protected this knowledge, this access, the keys to those doors, thus by basically vindicating, venerating, whatever you want to call it, the pagan as a whole. And as people say, well, you know, there is good and bad in every type of culture. That's why I'm not labelling it. So in this, as a pagan, as a culture, nature and different things, what they believe in, and obviously the pagans, as I was saying in the beginning, means a lot of different things. Well, what if it's what I say? And it means it's protecting the garden, it's protecting the access to this knowledge. Would you then, as an enemy of that, want that stopped? You want to stop the access to this garden, to this knowledge? You would, wouldn't you? So now it makes sense if you look at it how I've looked at it, what pagan means. And I'm totally blown away, guys, and it totally makes sense to me. See what you get. I want to go to my thoughts now, because I've been going on for far too long, but I've really enjoyed this. So guys, I wanted to finish with this and see what you guys think on it. I think it's beautiful, but again, it's just my perspective, and I wanted to finish it on something good. Well, which was good, but you know what I mean. God is a supreme mind. He is everywhere and always. The human mind is an image of the supreme mind. Through the power of the imagination, it can roam the universe and be like God in all times and all places. Hermes tells us that if we truly understood the extraordinary power of the human mind, we would then know the nature of God. I love that, and I wanted to finish on that.
Yeah, they call me the black sheep. You know they call me the black sheep.
I'm back. Guess who's back? Yay! Oh, so I'm back, guys. It's been a few weeks, but I've been busy. I've had a little change round because I just fancied a little bit different. So you're going to see something a little bit different. I've been building a bit and getting some more furniture up, and so much has been going on. I've not been too good also, but I'm getting there. I'm feeling a lot better. The weight's falling off me. I'm doing a bit more exercise, and I'm getting there. The mankini will be coming out shortly. I can hear the people logging out quick. No, not now. So guys, I want to say a big thank you. Let me just alter that light so it's not shining too much in my face. Just about getting it right. So like always, I want to say a big thank you to everyone that supported, showed the love and comments. It's been, it's humbling when you guys show that you matter. You know what I mean? I matter, you matter. It's, I get really emotional. It doesn't take much for me to get emotional, but in these whining years, I appreciate the love a lot more. And like I say to everyone, if you want to help the channel, please, you can do so by liking, sharing, subscribing, telling people to check out the channel. There's so much content people don't realise. I don't realise, I forget. So if you want to do that, please like, share and subscribe. Also, you can buy me a coffee or buy me a bar, as it's known. So you can just buy me by the QR codes there. So a little black sheep there. I don't think it'd stay on my shoulder while I did the video. You know what I mean? So let's put him there. So yeah, the QR code's there, guys, and if you want to help me in the channel, it really does help. There you go. So on with the video. Now, to start this in my alter ego, I've just made it up. And you know how people like to hide their faces and different things. I could be the bald balaclava. Daw, daw, daw. What's he doing? I'm just giddy. You have to have a bit of humour, but also in life, you gotta smile. You know what I mean? So hey, it's working again. I don't know why. It's working. So I wanted to do a video about paganism, but not how people think. And you guys know I've talked about what pagan means over the years and how we've been indoctrinated, we've been brainwashed, we've been steered to think it's evil, it's devil worship, it's this, it's that. And technically, yes, it will be, because basically, as you know, it's the worship of many gods. I'm not saying like you're a pagan and you worship 55 gods. You know what I mean? You could still worship one god, but you know what I mean? How they perceive it. And we all have to be honest. Yes, when we're younger or different things, when you think of that, you do think of what Hollywood shows and what the L-shites have been telling us it means. And you know me, I'm not one to stick with what I'm told, even in the community. If the community say it's this, I'll say, well, I see that, and that's why I got called a black sheep. People even call me, oh, how can you be a truther and call yourself a black sheep? It's like, do you watch the channel? Do you understand the concept of what a black sheep is? I use it as inspiration. I'm turning it around from not a sheep who follows. And what's wrong with following something that you like? Again, the community have been programmed to think you have to do this, you have to do that. You have been controlled by the trolls. Again, what's wrong with doing what you want to do? And that's what's happening in this so-called community. We are being controlled. Bit of dust there. So we have been controlled. I've been controlled. You've been controlled. There's no shame in saying it. But it's when you start to notice this change that, hey, I'm being controlled. Why? Because we've all done it. I ain't perfect. We've all been there, and we've all been triggered by something. And you were like, you're on attack mode. And when you get a bit more wiser, or the discernment, whatever you label to the spell that you want to say it is, you're like, let's take a step back. That's why I always say, take a step back, think about it. Why am I getting triggered by this? Because it's even ingrained. The spell is deep. The force of the energy of that spell is making you angry, making you want to attack. Because, and again, this is just my personal opinion through the research I've done and how I see this realm. But the truth is not truth. I've said this. How many videos have I made on it and showed you truth? Just type truth in, etymology, truth. What does it say? It's truth. It doesn't. It says faith. And when you attack faith, you have to understand people will reply with force because they've been programmed to. It's a word, it's a label on to keep this spell in this reality. That's why they don't tell us the power of the mind. And you saw in various videos about and I've talked about this, the toka, something like that, where sigils and different things, when people think it comes into reality. Well, this is what this reality is. So if you can control us by manipulating and steering us to a direction and location where this spell means that, you will only have one reply. So the more we learn, the more we become open and we see things become visible using your imagination. Could it be another word? Yes, it can. People will be screaming, it's not this, it's not this. I contradict myself video after video because I'm always learning. And I'm always changing my mind because I want to see, oh, that looks better, that makes more sense to me, I'll have that. Like people do like memes and different, I'll have that. So that's what it is. And it's just like this. People think the truth means the truth. I'm fighting. I am the truth warrior. I am in the truth community. It must be good. It must be right because it's the truth. The truth is hidden in plain sight. No. Again, it's like everything. It affects you. That's why you is in the middle of the truth. And this is why when we're looking into these comments and videos and topics, again, this is just my interpretation, but people won't hear that. It'll just be blah, 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 blah. It's good or blah, 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 it's bad, and they will pick some of the things that you have in this are really, really funny. So that's why I did that poll a few weeks ago. Was it a few weeks ago? Because I just wanted to see the inspiration that people use their imagination, the sparks. So let's see what the poll result is. And I'm doing this live. So I asked, I'm working on a project, which was this. And as part of this, I'd like to know, will you guys feel inspired and have epiphanies or downloads, whatever you call them, for your inspiration to your knowledge and basically what I'm talking about, the imagination. I wanted to know if it applied to a specific time of the day. Do we gain more knowledge or inspiration in the day with this light? Or do we get more at night? So this was really intriguing for me. So you can go on my site and you can see the results there. And basically daytime 14%, which surprised me. Nighttime 20%. Dreams, because I asked, did you just get your inspiration and your thoughts and your imagination in dreams? No, 8%. And the winner was no specific time with 57%. And we had 275 votes. So everyone who voted and contributed to that, excellent. So because it was the inspiration, and again, like I was showing you, I was reading this book again. I was bored one day after I was tired and doing all the jobs and looking after my mother, and I'm like, you know what, I want to go back and have a look at that book and see what it says. Is there anything else it says differently? And it is dark. You wouldn't think it was quite early on, but it's raining and windy. So I took a look at this book, and Let's get it so in shot so the light's not on it. I just have to get the light a bit better. The Hermetica. Let's see if we can get it, because I've changed around. Am I not glowing as much? Do we need more glow? Oh, that's a bit better. So pardon if people like getting glowed and there's light. I'm just, like I said, I'm getting things that's bouncing off. Things I've never had to do before. Is that better? Or is it darker? Just leave it, Paul, and get on with it. Right, so I'll just leave it. So if anyone's annoyed at different things, who cares? I'll just have something shiny. Wait, so is that better? Hello. Oops, something's fell. So yeah, this was my inspiration. So when I started looking into this and started reading about the imagination and knowledge, how basically they both interact with each other. It then talks about obviously the Hermetica and where it came from. And as I forgot to put in the video, it's just weird how things are. Let me find it where I looked into the wording of some things. So as you know, I was looking at things and I mentioned obviously people are into the alchemy and different things and how that's connected to Egypt. And as you can see, you can just look up at it and you can just see how the Arabic word alchemy means the black land. An ancient name of Egypt, dredged up from the depths, moistened by the stream of life and fertilised by the sun. The black earth of Egypt embodied the vital energies of the gods and the cosmic powers. And obviously when we talk about paganism, Hellenistic gods from Greece and different things, and obviously in Egypt worship many gods. I wanted to look at the word paganism, and when you type in paganism it gives you the ground definition of it. And obviously the idea of many gods worship, you know, to the autumn, to the winter, to the green man, you know, today it's this and this, and then you have Wiccan and you have all the things offshoots from that. Obviously you do have Satanism and different things like this, which that gets tied with that. So it inspired me reading it, thinking, well, we've had this knowledge, whether you want to associate it or give it a label, that has gone to through cultures to civilizations in time, and each place this has appeared, people, the culture have had a golden era, and the last one so-called was obviously the Renaissance. And we're like, well, why is this information not readily available now? You have to do your research and different things. It's like, why? And then you have to think about it. See, again, I'm getting texts because I'm dead professional, me. You know what I mean? I have to reply. What do we say now? I'm filming. So there you go. I don't have it on loud, but the silent, the vibrations, it's like shakes. So this is classed as the golden era, the Renaissance in different cultures. You've had it, this wisdom, and people talk about, oh, I'd love to go back to the libraries of Alexandria, and then you'll get some people, oh no, it's all witchcraft, it's all paganism, it's all devil worship, the information is all a lie. It's funny how things are all a lie when we use the information, but when they use it, it's different. But it's allowed. You just have to laugh at how things. And when we get older, and I'm learning, new dog, new tricks type of thing, and it's like I'm just learning to separate and just ignore it as more than ever, because people that matter to me are the people who give me the energy, the love, the support, and you will get it back. So I do, I love you guys. You help me through dark days. I hope through my bald shiny head that I help you through dark days. It goes hand in hand. And so I want to look at the word paganism, and you saw the video. So like I said in the video, I want to lead you down a path, a Peter, that you'll go at the end when you see the breakdown of pagan, and you'll go, yeah, you know what I mean? And it's like, why is there so much, if pagan is evil, why is it ingrained so much in our society? So then, like anything, and I'm sometimes really simplistic, you know what I mean? I just see everything as information, and I use the information how it seems in this realm for me. So look at the word pagan and how it's basically, if you live in the country, you live in the sticks, you're off grid, you have a different belief, you don't believe just in one god, you believe in many, you were slanderized, you were called a pagan. And obviously through the eras and the aeons, it changed. Some got wiped out, some had witch hunts. That's why I call it pagan witch hunt. Why would the witch hunt, even for people like left-handed, were classed as witch? People who, use the herbs, use what the Creator gave them in the garden again. They were hung, they were burned. Why? Because they knew knowledge. Now, I'm just theorising, speculating here that is this knowledge that we can use to better ourselves, to attune our frequency. And that's like how I was putting this. I was talking about Jesus being a frequency. When you feel Jesus in you, do you change? Do you then see things differently? And you can put a different name on that frequency. To me, God he's not bothered. The Creator's not bothered what name you use. Do we wipe out half the world because they don't believe in the one God? No, I don't think the Creator would want that. He give people free will to believe in the God. It's just a name, a label for this realm, for this spell. And far too many times, you get persecuted for being different. It's okay to be different. And some places, and sometimes like now, it's gone the other way. The different is being pushed in your face, and that's the other way. I'm in the middle. But if you treat me how I want to be treated and how you want to be treated, with love, the showing the support, the respect, not trolling, nice things, you'll get it back from me. I don't care what you believe in and what you see. That is something else. We're here on our own unique path and journeys. And some people have the gift where they share a path with many. It's like the empaths. So when these paths cross and people feel all the feelings of everything around them, they're feeling the other energies, other frequencies. So when we get to this point where we want to learn this knowledge, this imagination, it makes us hopefully a better person. We then see this realm for how it is. And when I started doing these past few videos, I'm looking at things totally different, and I just feel better. You know what I mean? It is that duality of this realm where, some days, when you're feeling really good and you're walking and everything goes right, then in a split second you get a troll freak who doesn't like you being happy, doesn't like you smiling, doesn't like you being different. And they want to change that. Now, people say, well, why do we have to have it? Maybe, this is simplistic look of it, how I see it. When you're in a good day, that's why when you're having a good time, enjoy it. Get the most out of it, because you will have a downtime. But when you have that downtime, it's that time when you want, you appreciate the good times more. And it's like the glass half full type of thing. People say, oh, it's empty or it's half full. It's like we don't appreciate the good times. Now, the good times might be far and few between, but, when we do have them, let's enjoy them. Let's join together and enjoy each other's good time. No, it's not. It's like, oh, well, he's got more subs than me, but I'm doing harder than him. I'll troll him. It's like that ego that I and you wants to control. And that just got me to looking at, why have they attacked the pagans? Overall, why is it so important that people cannot be different? and looked into the pentacle and the pentagram, it's devil worship. And it's like, well, some of them things were used in the Seal of Solomon, some of them are there to protect, but why is it on half all the churches if it's evil? Oh, well, it's not, it means something different. Again, it's people using the interpretation. So whereas one could see it evil, one will see it as good. It's like when I do videos, some will just see me wearing a t-shirt and think, oh, look at him, he's wearing that t-shirt, he's a devil worshipper. It's like, no, it's just a t-shirt. People buy you it, your loved ones, you like things. You know, oh, you can't wear this colour when you're in the video because you're a Mason if you wear that colour. No, can I not wear a colour because I like the colour? Again, we're all told we can't do it and you can't have it any other reason. So for instance, you like the colour orange, you can never wear orange because orange. You know, my favourite colour is yellow because it's bright, it's warming. And I like orange, I like orange as well, but you can't wear anything orange. So we see how we are as society, as we are persecuted. I'm coming out and putting my face out there because I've formed a connection on my channel. And you're doing a video one day and it's like, oh my god, am I wording this? Or, oh, did you really mean that? And you've used your hand signals so many times. And oh, when you have an itchy nose, you're not supposed to scratch it or wink because it means something differently. Because people are paranoid as fuck because they're watching the doom and gloom shit. Now that's cool. You want to watch doom and gloom shit, get depressed, get down, get so negative, so ill. Cool, it's for you, but it's not for me. So don't bring all that onto me. And that's again like the pagan witch hunt. When you are feeling good and happy, it won't last because someone always wants to bring you down. And that brought me to, well, why? So then we start looking at paganism and then looking at the breakdown of word. It talks about to protect, to guard. And you're like, could these be people, like the Druids and different things? Oh, Druids did devil worship, they sacrifice humans and so on. You know, so you then get into that spiral of this is what people are saying. But, you know, also Druids were classed as the judge and jury, judge the wise men. Are we not wise men now when we learn something differently? It's in the etymology of the imagination, the magic, the sorcerers. That's why we all see this realm differently. And why the truth has you in it, because you and you and you and you is important. How you see this world, like I've always said, how you see this world depends on them and using this, because that changes and molds with the magic on how you see this world. It's like when you sat into the so-called community and looking at what's classed as a conspiracy, and someone will complain, oh, it's not a conspiracy. You know, I'm just using the spells that they use. So when you sat looking into those things, you can see your reality around you changing in front of your eyes, and you're like, wow, that was really hidden in plain sight. That's why the imagination is key. Think about it. If you want to control, and that was mind control, the government, they want to control, and obviously that comes from the rudder. They want to control and steer you where they want you to. So, and this goes in hand for influencers and so on. They want to steer you in a certain direction. Is it because they've been promoted by a brand to promote this? Is that just what they generally believe? Who knows? But they're influencing our minds and steering us in direction. For instance, if you watch a video and you've watched it for years and you really like the channel, and they say, you know what, this channel, he's a gatekeeper. And you're like, well, I do like that channel. I mean, it happens to me a lot. It'll happen to many people when people attack you because they think you're evil. I don't like you for a specific reason. You are this, you are that. And again, like I've always said, guys, if you're speaking evil, you are evil. You're doing evil. Doesn't matter if you think A, B, and C is evil. You're in the turd-infested river. So you're going to smell like it. You're going to be absorbing it. And that's what you people do, the control. They are trolling. And it's the control. They want to control you. They don't want me saying this. They don't want you hearing, it's okay to be different. It's okay to look at things differently. It's okay to... They don't want it. So that's what happens. So it's just a pagan witch hunt. Again, it's just a label. Pagan guarding. Guarding, it's like a gatekeeper. Flaming sword, Garden of Eden, the tree of knowledge, the tree of good and evil, and things on so on and so on. So what is worth persecuting people? And obviously you have to go through the different things of why people bully, persecute, kill, murder. And on this I was just thinking, wow. So I broke it down and I found that pagan means to guard, to protect. Are they protecting the knowledge, this information, this key, this access? If everything is a energy, vibration and frequency, you need keys. Air key, skeleton key. And if that is used to gain access to a frequency of information, of imagination, your realm changes. We're very powerful. It said it in that. It said it, everyone that said it, all those quotes talking about the power of imagination. So if it's that powerful, why are we not being promoted to use it? How do people, when they have breakthroughs, they're using the imagination? Is that source? Are they getting it from the ether? Is that the spirit? Is that just the doorway? Have they found the key to open and unlock, which then goes into another room where this information is stored? Remember, many people can have many keys. For instance, when I think of this, it's not, oh, am I the first one to think of this? No, there'd be shitloads of people. You know, so that's how it is. We get access, and there's, you know, when we see puzzles, you know, you have to put them back together in how you see it. Some people will take longer. Some people go direct to this, and this is what again was this word pagan, guarding. And this is just hypothetical to me on talking about this imagination, you know, and they want to be the captains of these vessels. Remember, you know, dust everywhere. So what is on my shoulder? Oh, that's a big bit of dust. So they want to be the captains. The Elites want to be captains. They want to be the captains of our vessel. Steer this vessel. You know, everything's evolves around water. You know, and that's why I've done all the videos on this, looking at this. You know, ancient times had fish gods that came out of the water to give people the knowledge. Now, is this, again, it's just how you look at things. Did they give us that knowledge because we were slacking and we wasn't giving them enough tribute or food or whatever? It could be. I don't know. I wasn't there. And that's why, so there's so many ways of looking at things, and that's why I try and leave it open for you guys to say, hey, it could be this, it could be that, it could be this. While I'm just doing the video, I'm thinking of this, you know. So they want to govern, mind control, but they want to steer us in certain directions. And they steered us to believe that paganism was evil. It's not people are evil. The Elites are evil. The realm seems to have a lot of evil in. And if, for instance, if you want to live in a world where a lot of evil is manifested, you bombard from the four corners. Evil. Hence why I put in about the Golden Child. If you remember that film, he was bombarded and he had a little branch thing, a few leaves of goodness, and he was feeding on that, and he wasn't feeding on the evil, the spells being cast at him and the food being basically corrupted. And that's what's happening to us. We have a torus field. Tor is German for door. So all these videos have talked about this door. They want to, you know, they want to shut it, they want to open it, you know, they want to control and govern this lock. They want you ill. So if you're bombarding us through the media, social media, why is social media so toxic? Why is people so bad? And people will scream, yes, a lot of them are computers. and bots. But also there's a lot of effed up people out there, and influenced, paranoid. You know what I mean? So it's not good. That's why I'm not in no social media apart from this, really. And because I didn't want to be in that so toxic. I feel so much better. I feel much lighter. I don't feel energy drained out of me. You know, but people just want to drag you back into it. So, like the government and allies, they want to direct you. So this is why, looking at the word a little bit different, and again, don't be taking me as fact. This is why I personally believe that paganism is classed as it is, because the knowledge that these people who work with plants, worked with the magic and the imagination, they wanted to stop it. They wanted to control it and steer you in another direction and live in evil. I was watching something, I can't remember what it specifically was. I was just, you know, when you're flicking, and I was flicking, and it was someone who's not in a community, it was just a sports person, and I liked what they said on this, and it was, I'm paraphrasing. So, you know, there's never a tomorrow, there's only a now. So when people say, you know, you should live for the now because tomorrow won't come, and he was talking about how life is a gift, and like me, I'm like, I don't feel like it's a gift sometimes, and that is that aspect of, you know, everyone around you are like controlling the masses by the few, the elites, and the social media's getting us down because they don't want us to believe and know how the power of God in us. We even have the vocal cords. That's why when I'm talking these words, it might resonate because I'm using the voice of God. You know, and people show about the plasma of the squat man. I've shown you in the videos. It's the vocal cords. It's the same pattern. And, you know, that just makes me laugh how, you know, people, you know, don't watch my content because they think it's all the same. You know, it covers a specific topic, but there's so many different videos you should just check out. So back to this, it's like we have all these powers in us, and they need us to keep it down. They don't want you to feel enlightened and doing good, you know, or positive. And they don't want you helping. And they want you on a specific path. That's why you always get told, oh, the red pill and the blue pill. And you're like, I was like this. Why do I only have to choose between the two? Where's my third? Where's my fourth? Where's my fifth? And that's again, we're only given options in the community. If you like them or them, it's them or me. Why? They're like little kids. Pick. Well, why do I have to pick? Why do you know? And this is how I became. I was slandered, I was called the black sheep researcher, you name it, because they had a different opinion on a lot of topics. You know what I mean? And it's just so funny. It's like when you look, for instance, the flat earth community. Well, flat earth is tied to Janos. Well, how is that? Because Janos' aspect is Aker, A-K-E-R, if I remember, the god of the horizon. What's the horizon? So all these things and connections I've showed over the years falls on deaf ears because the people don't want you to have a different opinion. It's always this or that. Why can't you have whatever opinion you want? Why can't you pick that opinion, that opinion, that opinion, that opinion, and push it together? Because if you go, oh wow, your imagination has helped you to perceive this reality. And that's what I've always promoted. You know, use your little bits, use it this, discard that, because it's just information, and never get triggered. So back to what I was saying, it's like people, well, it doesn't feel like a gift, and it doesn't at times. You know, there's always seems to be bad news, and it never feels a gift. But look at it this way, and this is what I went, play with words. What is now but the present? What do you get for gifts? A present. So now is a gift. It's a present. And you're like, no way. And I'm trying to live like it's a present, in the present, that it's a gift, and trying to put my own spin on it, and hopefully I'm feeling a lot better, you know, because we all have our problems, you know, but we needed, you know, it's okay to be alone if you have access to a group, you know, when you want, you know, to dip your toe in and different things. And this is what I do. I do like the company of my own, because I'm always in my own head. I always have been. The imagination is strong in me. I've always been a daydreamer, and I can think, like a lot of my videos I've not done by reading books because I find it hard to read because I'm dyslexia, and I'm getting old and I've got to put bottle top glasses on. But it's just an access, it's just another part of the tools that we can use. So this is why I wanted to do this video, because I just felt inspired to do a video to show you that paganism could be looked at a different way of guarding something. What are they guarding? And then you then go to, as it says in the book, that whatever this writing, and it's just, for instance, if I feel inspired to do a video and they used to attribute the inspiration to a muse or a god. So when we see writings and it says, and the god says this, because they feel inspired and they think or thought, or it is because it's how you perceive that a god inspired them to do it. So it says, oh, Hermes says this because Hermes give that person inspiration, or a different name for Hermes, Mercury or whatever. All names attribute to one, and Janos because he has the keys. But Janos is just another name. God doesn't need a name. Doesn't need a name. He says it even in this. He doesn't need a name. And I've said that years ago, but you know, we just have to label things, because when we label things, our imagination then can grab it and use it. So in this reality where they want to control and put evil all the way around us, they only want us to be using evil as our imagination. You know, if you don't like this video, what is the harm in just scrolling past? Why do you feel the need to get on your keyboard and type and insult and call? Again, you're doing the game for him. That's why I always say, how can you be a truth warrior if you're always attacking people? That's not the truth. Truth is faith. Just say these people, what they're saying angers me because I'm triggered. I'm mind control. I have been. But people won't. And it's shame on you who's supporting these channels, calling someone, because you don't know what's going on behind closed doors, in a sense of you don't know what I'm going through or another channel is going through. And if you're trolling negative and basically cursing me with spells, you don't know what effect that is. Now, if you are okay with that and you don't know if if a person will hurt themselves or gets them so down that they affect other ones around them, shame on you. You're not a good person. So don't pretend to be a good person. If you want to be a cunt, be a cunt. Don't hide behind, oh, I'm doing this for my religion, my faith, and this, and blah, blah, blah. You know, evil does what evil does. What you eat is what you feed on. If you feed on evil, you are evil. I want to be a good example. I want to be respected for being, having, what's that word now? I just want to be known, respected for this and this, because I don't jump on this, I don't jump on that. I just do what I want, and I respect all of you. I love you guys. And not enough is out there, but we are who we are, unfortunately. And this is what is being influenced and what can influence people. And this is why I love doing what I do, because I want to look at things differently. I want to find that if I break the word pagan down, pa also means father, but also means to protect. Gan means to guard, protect and guard, but also comes from the sense of the garden. And it can mean a lot of other things. But when you put them together and you use that spell, you have to think, what are they guarding? What are they protecting? And then you go to the libraries of Alexandria, so on, and all these places have these mythical libraries of information. Because remember, libraries, it's got the word lie in it. It's like people, a good word is Om. It's creation, it's God, another form. Om, Arm. Arm is in trauma. Trauma is an evil, negative word. So you can just see how things can be changed. So just look into it and how you see this reality. I thoroughly enjoyed this video. It means a lot. And when you start to think of, whoa, yeah, imagination is key. That's why they want you on these 24/7 being bombarded with negativity. God, the difference I feel. Someone was talking to me and a few weeks ago, how long it is, and I was just saying a piece of advice: get off social media. Just be on the basic where you can still have that help the people who you love, but it's no good for you. It really is no good. Apart from my YouTube channel, obviously. No, but if it means people being so much better off that don't even watch me, I'm just gonna cry. Do you know what I mean? But I it's what's happening in this reality. You are what you eat. So if you're going on a channel that is bombarding you and giving you negativity and evil to eat, it's gonna affect you. And that's what this realm is doing to you. That's why they bombard you with all these frequencies and different things. Constantly negativity, evil. When do you and people watch the news? I don't. I hear everything off people. But think about it. If they're feeding you and bombarding you with negativity, how much good stories, good that you should see. How many stories you hear? Oh, well, this person has helped this, this person has helped that. It's like if you even feed the homeless, that's illegal in some places. It's like a crazy world that we live in, and they've taken this gift that we was given and they've changed it. They've ripped it out. That's why it doesn't feel like a gift. Some people feel, we live in the land of the dead. Is that the reality is merging the reality of the dead and the living? That's why we see so many things. And people are mediums because their paths, their Peters cross with the land of the dead. Just a different doorway that I need to gain access to. So when I'm doing this video, I'm just looking at that word. Oh wow, it means to guard, to protect. And then look how you've broke down imagination. It's brilliant, And as I said in the video, how we see this reality is defined on what we see coming through, controlling the light, the knowledge. And magic, sorcerer, priest, wise men, 3 wise men, the third eye. Was that the third eye? 3 wise men, 3 eyes, the third eye. Who knows? And then obviously in magi, and then nat being obviously a child or just being born. Is it is it talking how we are born, birthed? Again, more water talk. My waters have broken. And it was just intriguing that when you look at an ion, could it be possibly aeon? And again, that is associated, and say Janus is the same. Not me. Ancient texts. What are you supposed to do with that? Not say anything. So guys, I just hope that guys you've enjoyed this. I've been waffling on for far too long. I just appreciate you guys being here, supporting me. It means a lot. You know what I mean? And I'm losing the weight. I think I've lost now in a month and a half about 10 kilos. Let's see what 10 kilos is, because I don't know. A lot of people are in pounds. Let me just have a look. 10 kilos in pounds. For you, me American brother, and say you do it. So 10 kilos is 22 pound. So I've lost 22 pounds. I think it's a stone and a half, or whatever, in different metrics, and I've lost that in a month and a half. I do feel better. I look better. Bound chicka wow wow. But you know what I mean? Again, You guys don't know how much you've helped me doing that. I use you as inspiration daily. And these last 3 videos, I'm changing completely on how I look at this realm and how I look at people. It's time to let go of the negativity, because it only festers inside you. It's like, would you grow an evil little troll? And some people, yeah, you know, because they love the dark stuff. But you know what I mean? You know, you're growing something evil inside you, and it's growing. And it's just changing who you are. So kick it out, let it go, and enjoy life. Enjoy this gift. Enjoy the present. Because them barstools are not letting us. So we've got to find it wherever we can. And I get this from you guys, honestly, and my family around them. It just makes me so proud that you have me back. And for everyone out there that's gone through a bad time, hopefully it'll change. Hopefully you get inspiration and some goodness out of watching me or reading the comments. Because we have to find those little wins, these little wins for the battle. Because, you know, they're very far and few between. So I want to finish that. I just wanted, again, to make this video to show, hey, could we be looking, and it's a big, huge what if, could we be looking at the word pagan something differently, as guarding the keys to the imagination, the magic, and they want to protect it by vindicating, and we know they vindicate anything, but sometimes, like, we overthink something. It's like, oh, well, if they're vindicating that, it must mean it's good. No, sometimes it's a clever ploy to give people the idea that, hey, that's cool because they're vindicting it, attacking it. You know, that's why I just say use everything. So when we get something and it's classed as negative, but to you it's not negative, it's good, you're changing the power of that spell for you and for the realm around us. Because we're changing it. How many symbols have been used as evil don't mean evil. But in here, and to the masses, what people call normal people, and what's normal these days, but using the power of the imagination, again, how powerful is that imagination and the manifestation powers of this, the energy? Like, you watch old films and it says the gods need your power of the spell and your imagination. If you don't worship them and venerate them, you know, so on and so on, it changes their power. So they've thought, you know, that's why they do this to us. They want to steer you. They want to control this vessel, this Superman, this human. They want to control it. They want to influence it. And they don't want you to look at different information and get an inspiration from it. Because that's what I do. I use different words out of different religions and cultures, squash it up, and make something that's like, oh wow, that makes sense. How can I break it down? Words, find different cultures and religions, and it's talking about what the word is without being it. And that's beautiful, and that's showing you the magic of the spell. Again, people don't realise vocal cords, Pandora's box, good and bad, can do the same. Like the imagination, good, bad manifestation. You know what I mean? It's why when we see things on TV, sometimes they look evil. And the shapeshift is the shapeshifting people out there. Again, it's how you see this reality. If you've seen this reality differently, you can see that through the medium. You are the medium. So you are seeing the shit that you're seeing. But they can also influence it. So it is a tough battle that we're in, the tough place that we're in, but we'll get through it with you and me, and we get inspired. So hopefully I've not waffled on too much. Hopefully you've used it to go to sleep. Again, please, if you want to help me, just like, share and subscribe and promote the channel. Say, you know, what you know your opinion is on this channel. And if you want to help me on the channel, again, please just use the link in the description or on the screen. There's buy me a bar. And thank you for joining me for this long video. And hopefully it's inspired you. Like, just reading little bits of different books inspire me, and it changes your aspect. The books and different things change your imagination. You know, the power of the mind we just forget how powerful it is. And I just get so honoured that you joined me today. So guys, thank you. Take care, stay safe. Remember, always wear a smile, and I'll see you soon. Now, wake up. It's time to wake up now and pretend that you've watched it. So take care, and hopefully you've enjoyed this little bit different of just thinking, what if and why were pagans attacked? Could it be what Paul's saying? Or is it what they've said? Or is it something completely different? And all the words, and look at the word imagination and how it ties in together with the spells and how we see this reality. It's just beautiful. Take care, stay safe, and I love you guys.